Hey everybody, it's Ken Compton from the Savvy Inspector, and today we've got a super call. Coach William is hanging out with me. Coach William, welcome.
Hey, good to be here.
This will be the first time, Coach William, that you and I aren't the leader of the band in a long time on this.
I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot.
William is sitting back with his cigarette and feet up on the desk.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So what happens is a lot of people, when I talk to them, and Coach William too, will say, how do you know your website converts, or where's your traffic coming from? Traffic, guys again means visitors. All this kind of information, and people, members will say to us, I have no clue what you're talking about. So what we've done is we brought Ken Lenore on today. Ken Lenore is basically runs all of our fulfillment. He has a big team, and he runs all of our fulfillment for Done For You, for VA services, for the Savvy newsletter, and I'm sure I left something out. So he's got a really big job, and what happens is him and his team work on this every day, because if you buy services, Done For You services from us, what we want to do is understand everything that's going on about your online presence so that we can really enhance the results that you get. So Ken L, we call him in-house. We got two Kens, that's kind of confusing, so we call him Ken L, but Ken L is absolutely going to take you through this Google Analytics for beginners. So Ken, you take it away, sir.
Awesome. Thank you, Ken. That's exactly it. Google Analytics for beginners. You've got to know what kind of results you're getting, and Google Analytics shows you the straight truth. You can't hide from numbers. So basically, before we begin, I just want to tell you, I'm gonna go slow, and I'll answer any question that you might have while we're going through it. If it makes sense right then, we may answer them at the end. And just as you know, the call's been recorded. It's going to be up on the member site within 48 hours. Just want to tell you what's in it for you to attend this webinar. Kind of telling you the benefits of being here. Kind of reiterating what Ken said. You'll be able to determine if your marketing strategy is working or not. You'll be able to consciously grow your most impactful numbers, the numbers that make a difference to your marketing campaigns. And then you gotta know, you'll be able to know what those numbers are, and you'll be somewhat like a Google Analytics expert in just 60 minutes. If we consider an expert someone who can get results, or who gets results, which is a pretty bold promise, but you'll find out that I'll deliver on that. You'll be able to quickly and systematically determine if what you're doing, your most recent tax activities have moved the needle in the right direction. And the cool thing is you'll learn what's working for your business content-wise, and task and activity-wise, promotion-wise. When you do things, you'll see that worked for me, and it may or may not work for other people, or you get an idea. You'll have real data and numbers to go off of to determine what you should do next, not just theory or speculation or what you learn from a book. You'll be able to determine if those ideas work, and you'll be able to you'll have no choice but to improve your numbers each week, since you'll be looking at them, and you'll be ruthlessly determining did this work or did it not work. And one of my favorite things for this webinar is you'll get access to a tool that's going to transform the way that you run your business. It's going to make reaching your goals so much easier. So I'm really excited about that.
Ken, before we get started, let's ask if you have Google Analytics installed on your website and you've ever looked at it, just type in 1 in the chat box. Just type in 1 in the chat box, and let's see it. Let's see if anybody has Google Analytics installed. And okay, Brian does. Good work. Andrew does. Okay, Crystal does. Jenny does. Jennifer does. Okay, Juan and Louie. Leslie Testoni does. Good. Okay, now let me ask you this: you have it installed because from some of you, because we do Done For You services for you. But of the ones that have it installed, when was the last time that you went in and looked at it, looked at the data? It's okay if you type in 2014. Make it easier. Yeah. Never. Okay. Okay. So wanted 2017, maybe a year ago. Okay. Never. Okay. Months ago. It's great to have it installed because it is collecting the data, and that's all great. But what happens is what Ken was talking about a minute ago is you're going to have some key performance indicators, and you'll hear William and I talk about them as KPIs. And that really, in a glance, will allow you to tell the health of your online marketing program. Okay, and so these are the things Ken L is going to talk to us about in just a minute. These are the things that you can look at and say, okay, based on what I see here, my business online is in good shape, or you know what, it's kind of in the toilet and I need to do something different. And you'll get some help from the information. So I'm glad you guys fessed up. Some of you have it installed. Most of you haven't been in there in a while. Bryant Wilkins 2 weeks ago. Congratulations, Bryant. So that's great. All right, Ken, I just wanted to kind of for my own see what was up with what.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that because Google Analytics, we're going to jump in it here in a minute, but it's overwhelming. You can do 9 million things in Google Analytics. And for our purposes, I'll show you a quick way. You'll be able to log into your Google Analytics account, and you'll be able to look at you'll be able to navigate so quickly and efficiently and see exactly if your strategies are working or not. It'll be easy for you to log in. Like I said, you'll be an expert here and just through this webinar. So it's awesome, cool. First thing, initial setup. Most people have it installed, but I'll just go over this very quickly for those who don't have it installed. It's a 3-step process. You just sign up for Google Analytics. You add a tracking code to your website, or you add a plugin to your website, and then it starts collecting the data. And so I have a link right here, sign up for Google Analytics. You just click this link in analytics.google.com.
And we'll have a link under the presentation for you as well. Yes,
and if you don't have an account, it'll prompt you. You'll see this screen right here, and you sign up very, very easy. The WordPress plugin I recommend is linked right here as well. It's from the official WordPress.org site. And you just install that, and then you grab your unique tracking code. You just plug it into the plugin, and you install it. Once you install the plugin, there's a simple step-by-step process for installing that. And once you sign up for Google Analytics and you install the plugin, if you have WordPress, if you have an HTML site, then you should get WordPress. No, but if you have an HTML website, Google Analytics has training for you to install that as well. But once you install that and you start tracking data, the next thing you'll need to do is you'll need to set up goals. Goals are very, very simple. I've included two very helpful resources right here in the mind map to set up goals. But basically, the goals I recommend you set up is from your home page to your schedule page, and from your schedule page to your actually scheduling inspection. And that way you can determine how many leads you're getting, because I consider if someone comes to your website from search or from paid ads or from email or from social media, and they read your sales page and then they click over to the schedule page, I consider that a lead. And if you don't have the goal set up, you won't be able to track that. If you use the ISN, and I may be a little bit out of date on this, but luckily I have a great team, and they do all this stuff with the Google Tag Manager. The Google Tag Manager is how you'll need to set up your goals for ISN, because ISN doesn't have a thank you page. So if you follow this tutorial, you'll be able to set up the goal for scheduling inspections. And we've messaged ISN and said, hey, y'all need to hook up with Google Analytics so that we can do this easier. But this is the video that our team used to set it up.
They're too busy selling data, so they didn't get back.
Oh man. Yeah.
So I want to go back to this just for a minute, because a lot of you, this is going to be the first time that you hear it. Okay, so if somebody just comes on your page, your sales page, and they just look around for a few minutes and they back browser off, that's not a lead. That's somebody stumbled on you, however. But if somebody comes and consumes the content on the front of your website, and then what they do is they click on the Schedule Now page, that's somebody who's interested in that. Okay, so that's why Ken says that's a lead. So we want to be able to have a goal set up in Google Analytics that shows you how many people came there and took that action. And the same way on the Savvy Inspector, when you come and read the Savvy Inspector's homepage and you're a prospect, not a member, then what happens, I want to look at how many people hit the Join Now button and looked on that page, and how long did they stay on that page. Okay, and that gives us information to where we can make decisions about, do we need to improve what we're doing? Let's say this. People came to your website and only 3% of them then went to the schedule now. Okay, schedule your inspection now. Okay, so could we think about it and say, could we change our content in some way to encourage more people to go to that page? And the answer is, of course we can. All right, but if you don't know how many people go there, there's no way for you to improve on that number. Okay, so we have to get a baseline and then say, by making these changes, or we really like to make changes one at a time, so we know if it went up or down, what was the cause of it. Okay, and it could be other things too, maybe better traffic or whatever it happens to be. So then what happens is you want to be able to measure as well how many inspections you're booking from the website. Okay, so these are the kinds of things that when Ken says goals, that's exactly what that means to you. If we're going to make improvement in our performance, we have to measure it. All right, and so the ISN, Ken, we'll have the link under here for this so they can learn how to set up the tag manager.
Yes, right here on the mind map. I'm sure we'll have it on the call too.
We will. Okay.
Yes. Well, the beautiful thing about what Ken was just saying about making changes one at a time, and this is really where expertise comes from. One of our team members, named is Irish. She was looking at some of her clients, and she said, how can we raise conversion rate? And what she did was she was looking at the competitors for quite a few for some of our competitors, and she noticed a few of them were using had their schedule link. So on the top menu, they had their request an inspection link, right after homepage instead of after that. And when she did that, she got like a 5 or 10% increase in conversions, just making one change over the course of a month. So it's when you have data, then you can start maximizing the results. And I was so happy when I heard that because that's it. We have goals, and we're tracking measurements. We make changes, and we see how it affected our numbers.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And we know that as A/B split testing, don't we?
Yeah, and I just Ken, I've been working with Ken Lennar a little bit on our side as well, and it goes beyond. Of course, the ultimate goal is conversion. You want them to click, schedule now. Now that's what it's all about. But even other things that you do, if you're trying to generate leads, maybe through a downloadable PDF or whatever you're trying to do to drive traffic there, you can track that as well. And so that's what Kim and I were just talking about. We put it up there and we have to test it's the four-letter, our favorite four-letter word. But you have to test it, try it and see what happens. What he just explained there, but making that one little change, it's funny that, something like that could make that big a difference. But if you're not tracking that, if you don't have Google Analytics or whatever, and don't know what's going on, you're just out there blind. So, I discuss with my office quite often about our website and compared to other competitor websites. Well, that competitor's got this and this and that and that, which is all cool, all these bells and whistles, but does it convert? Who cares? Who cares what it looks like, smells like, tastes like? Does it convert? is the bottom line. And if you're not tracking, you just don't know.
And William, that is so true. Over the years, a lot of our clients have said, Ken, I don't like the look of that website. And I said, how do you like your wallet when it's finished? Because we have clients that'll get over 100 calls a month from their website. So the fact of the matter, and we know this because they call on the tracking number. So we measure everything. And so it's important. But here's why you want to really just change one thing at a time. And I said it earlier, if you change one thing at a time, you can have a better idea of what caused the difference in results, up or down. And you could change multiple times. That's called multivariate testing. But you really have to be way more sophisticated in analytics and that kind of thing to do multivariate testing. So I would encourage, if you're going to make a change, just make one thing, wait 30 days, see what happened. If you go in and change 2 or 3 things at a time, then you're going to say, wow, I got different results, either good or bad, but I have no idea why, because I changed 3 things at one time or 2 things at one time. So that's a really important thing I don't want you to do. Just change one thing at a time if you're going to do it. All right, Mr. Ken.
Yes. Cool. Awesome. So just some more info some more important info before we proceed here is just the help section in google.com. If you have any kind of questions, I showed you right here on Google Analytics, there's some 3 dots next to your avatar picture here. You click that, you click on help, it opens up a help section, and you can type in any kind of keyword here, and goals or traffic, whatever you do, and you can find that help section. help section is, I mean, they most help sections are really great, and and that's that. Second thing is we're going to be talking about here. We're about to jump into Google Analytics. That's going to be the exciting part, and we're going to be talking about how do we get more traffic, how do we increase the conversion rate, how do we do this. So based off of our numbers, we're going to have actions to take, and using Google.com and saying how do I get more traffic, or how do I increase the conversion rate, or go on the Savvy site and search for. We have quite a few webinars that shows our formula for conversion rate. And the 9 pieces of information you've got to have, and you can then implement it and test. But based off the numbers, you're gonna have actions to take, and I recommend you go to Google.com and search it, or search the Savvy site, find some sort of resource. Be resourceful. And that's that. I just want to make sure that you knew that Google Analytics is a very helpful help section, and you have Google.com as a resource to find out almost anything you need to know. All these are learnable skills. So
Ken is a millennial, and he's really big on being resourceful. So when the staff isn't resourceful, he doesn't like it. He goes in and searches the help desk or the help for it and finds the answer in just a few seconds, which doesn't prevent him from completing his projects then. And so he's trained his team to do that as well. So you should always consult the help first. We get asked a lot of questions at the Savvy that could have been answered quickly if you had just gone to the search box. And I will tell you, the search box had a bunch of mess ups in the 404 errors. That's all been fixed. You may still get one. If you do, let us know. But some of our team spent a whole week doing nothing but improving the search, and now it's back and even better. So when you can't find something on the Savvy site, please use that search tool.
Yeah, awesome, cool. So that's that, and now let's get into it. The 3 most important numbers that is going to make you an expert in Google Analytics here is conversions, and a conversion can include a lead or a sale, traffic from each marketing channel, and then conversion rate. If you focus on these 3 numbers and take actions based on take intelligent actions based on increasing these numbers, you will reach your goals. You can do all kinds of other things, but this is the 20% to get you 80 or 95% of your results. And so I'm just going to open up Google Analytics here, looking at. So now we're at Google Analytics. When you log in, you come to the home section right here, and we're just going to log. So this is how it looks when you come to Google Analytics. You see all this stuff, and like I said, there's just so much here. I mean, it's like crazy. So I want to make this simple for you. When you come to Google Analytics, you should come straight to acquisition and click on Overview. When you do that, you'll scroll down a little bit, and you see first thing you see is the date range. You'll want to modify that to whatever date you're looking at. See, if you did a certain action in a certain date, and see how it affected it. Another one is the conversions. Is it the home to schedule goal, or is it actual inspection scheduled? Okay, so once you come to acquisition overview, you will see your channels here. So you have direct. This is where people went straight to your website. You'll see traffic from search. You'll see traffic from social, and then referral traffic. And over here, you'll see goal completions. And if you change this conversion, you'll see the next goal completion, the actual form submissions. So so that is pretty much where you need to go. The second place, so acquisition overview, and we're about to drill down deeper into these channels, and we'll have some more numbers to determine what we should do next to raise our numbers and to reach our goals.
And Ken, let me just say one thing before we go any further. When you look at that direct, and this is one of the things I said to William when we first started working for him years ago, was that direct traffic is when the real estate agent gives that client, that home buyer, your information. They go directly to your website. They do a search, they look at your website, they go directly there. And this is what's happened is when you have a website that converts the real estate agent's business, in other words, she gives the lead to you, your website's so poor that it doesn't convert, that hurts her. She wants the client to use you, but she sends you to your website, and your website, this is a marketing term, technical, sucks, and won't convert anybody, then they don't know what's in it for them. The home buyer doesn't. They choose someone else, and the real estate agent doesn't like it because she doesn't know that's someone else. So that direct traffic is very important, as important as organic search. So you got to look at these numbers and say, am I converting or not converting? So, and how much traffic am I getting from there? So this is really important. And Ken's already said 2 goals, home to schedule and then actual schedule. So this is why this is so critical.
Yes. Yeah. And so that's that. Yeah. So the most impactful numbers is just you log straight in, you look at the acquisition overview, you find your channels. If you scroll down to conversions over here, and then you click on goals and then overview, you'll just see your goal numbers. And these are really the only 2 screens that I really look at. And once we drill down deeper into the channels, you'll see that we have all the information we need to make informed decisions. But yeah, so the goal page right here, you can see home to schedule, and then
this is a good one too. Go ahead, Ken. I want to come back, but don't leave the screen.
Okay, yeah, and you just click on the go option, home to schedule or scheduled inspections.
Okay, let's go back to the screen before, because I want to show you something on goal 2. Was it goal 2? That was goal 1, right? Okay, so here, look at this. Look at the far right. Home to schedule, goal 1, abandonment rate. Okay, so what does that mean? In online marketing, this is a huge thing. Make no mistake, you're an online marketer. Whether we do it for you or you do it yourself. Okay, you know what happens is over 66% of people went from the home to the schedule page didn't take the action you wanted them to take. Okay, that's what that means. Now, let me ask you this. If we lowered that number to 30%, would we get more sales? Of course we would. So, William, do you think that working on that cart abandonment rate is an important feature you should be looking at?
Critical for your website. I mean, you're talking about, depending on the numbers you're doing, you're looking at hiring another employee.
That's right. 47 people went over there. Okay, and we got a conversion rate of 20.52%. That's awesome. But let's make that conversion rate higher. And there's some things I think that we can do on the cart page. For instance, on the Savvy Inspector, we put that we're an InterNACHI member, and we put our SSL certificate. We're now putting testimonials to the right of the page to let and most of you guys' sites already have that if we do it, that lets the shopper, again, reinforce to themselves that they're making the right decision because all these people are satisfied. So there's lots of little things. If you're a member of the Better Business Bureau, that should be on your Schedule Now page. Okay, so the fact of the matter is there's a lot of things that you can do to lower your cart abandonment rate. And your cart basically is when they go there to schedule through the ISN or whatever software you use. That's when they decide they don't do it. But William, isn't it beautiful to wake up in the morning and got all these orders online and they never even talked to your staff?
Oh, absolutely. Just check emails and start booking them.
Yeah. So one of the other things, could we make an offer on the cart page that says if you schedule online, or maybe what happens is on the sales page that says if you schedule online, they get this or that, to try to increase the number of conversions on your website. I mean, it's infinitely cheaper to let them book themselves. I mean, how many travel agents do you still know, William? I mean, there's some out there, don't get me wrong, but in the old day, man, I would call up the travel agent, get on my flight arrangements. You know what I do now? I go to Travelocity.
Right.
I book a hotel and a car and a room, and guess what? They give me bundled pricing. So we want people to schedule right online and not have to talk to our staff. Now, there's follow-up once they do book online that you want to take action there. But this is to me a very important number. How can we improve or how can we lower, which in this case would be improve the abandonment rate on your cart? All right, Ken. Sorry, I didn't want to digress on that, but that's too important. That's something you can work on and fix.
Yes, I mean that's why we're tracking all this stuff. I also want to mention something that I've noticed is that a lot of people will convert from home to schedule, and they'll get on the schedule page, but they don't follow through the schedule, but they'll call.
Right.
And so so just because you don't schedule online doesn't mean you didn't get that lead. And you got to make sure you always ask somebody how'd you find out about us? Well, came to your website and I was going to schedule. I figured it'd be quicker just calling or whatever. There's multiple things there, but again, having this number say, well, how can we make it easier to schedule? I'll always be thinking like that.
Well, I agree with that, and we've talked about that in the past. You really don't have a clear way of tracking that, but I would think that again, it comes back to how well does it convert. Now, maybe they didn't go there and go through the steps to schedule on the ISN or whatever system you're using, but they did pick up the phone and call. And if your website wasn't set up for conversion in a good way, you might have lost them even there, or they've gone to another competitor. They got the list with 3 names. They're going to check every one of those sites. So you've got to have the leading site. So if they are going to pick up on the phone and call, they're going to call you because of what's on that site. That's all you've got. You don't get any other impression to make from them other than the agent dropping your name. From there, it all depends on your website or your online presence, because a lot of folks, especially the younger generation, they're smart enough to even go beyond that. They'll be checking out your social media or YouTube or any presence that you have out there needs to represent your company better than your competitors are representing themselves.
Right. Oh yeah, that's exactly. Don't want to get up on the squirrel here. That's why having great content produced by you or your staff to make you where people where they want to work with you, where they feel comfortable working with you. Don't want to get up on that. Would y'all tell me in the chat? Would you put a 1 in the chat box if this is making sense? Put a 2 if it's not. Please do that.
Okay, Wanda says it makes sense. Rod says it makes sense. Good. Yeah, here's a bunch of them. Good.
Excellent. Like I said,
screens you really got to go. Get your goals set up. Then 2 screens you're going to work from. If you want to drill down deeper and become even a bigger expert, great. But you can look at your key performance indicators and say, hey, here's what we got going.
Excellent. Good. Very happy. So we're going to go back to the marketing channels here, and we're going to drill down a little bit deeper. So we talked about the three things here. What I've noticed here as far as channels that work in the best, SEO is clearly the winner as far as what gets us the most qualified leads. Which you're about to see why I say that here in a minute. Social media is we get traffic off of social media, but people don't go on Facebook looking for a home inspector. It's just the fact of the matter. Direct referral, that always works. Like Ken said, agents refer your URL. People click on it, or they go there and directly find that. Email, that isn't nearly as good as SEO or direct. Most people aren't convinced to choose you based off of it's just not as good a strategy as SEO or have agents refer you. And then paid ads. Paid ads is right up there with SEO. SEO is always a little bit better than paid ads, but those are some of the ones that have been working best for us. If you want to know where to focus your effort, SEO and work with the agents, getting them to refer you. And then if you want to experiment in paid ads, you can do that. Make sure to track your numbers and make those tweaks. Expect to invest a lot of time and energy and effort into that.
And money.
And money, right? Yeah. Hopefully you make it profitable.
Before you leave there, Ken, I want to say this to you. Because you're in the home inspection industry, you don't have access. You can just open that back up. You just don't have access to the clients in advance enough. So SEO is a way to get them. Direct referral is a way to get them. But let me say about email marketing. Email marketing continues to be one of the highest return on investment strategies for the savvy inspector and other online information marketers, because people raise their hand and say, I want a lead magnet. They pick up, we're offering something free. We call that a lead magnet in exchange for their email and first name. And so what happens is then they get on the list and we nurture them. And Coach William and Ken and our whole team is working on some advanced strategies where people come and pick up information from you so we can collect their first name and email address in advance of the home inspection. Okay, so when we can get that all ironed out, we'll be rolling that out. But we're working on that now. And I think, William, the home inspection checklist or 7 ways to avoid the blind inspector, those kinds of things are very helpful.
Absolutely. You're providing valuable information that they can use. Hopefully that's what we're working on. You're alluding to now. You know, they'll plug in their email, and then we can have a marketing campaign series set up that we start you know, forwarding that out to them. So I'm pretty excited about that. See how that. And we'll keep everybody informed.
Yeah, and so how it really works is somebody comes to visit William's site, and one of my favorite things is if they don't take the action we want them to take, and that's call or schedule online, they start the back browser. You move your cursor back to the back browser, to the back arrow, and what happens is I like an exit pop that says, wait, before you leave, you don't want to pay too much for a home inspection, do you? And then you introduce your home inspection checklist, and you have a few bullets of what's in it for them by giving up their first name and email address, and then they take it. But the second one is, wait, you know, you could say, let's say in Georgia, wait, home inspectors aren't regulated in Georgia. Learn 7 ways to avoid a bad inspector. And of course, a lot of them will give you their first name and email address to get that report. They don't want a bad inspector. And then what happens, Coach William alluded to this a minute ago, once they download your material, then you can get them in what I call a nurturing email sequence. Okay, so email 1 goes out and, you know, expands on what you were telling them, whether it was a checklist or the bad inspector. They get several emails and they go along. I actually like the checklist the best because if they use your branded checklist while they're searching for a home and they find it helpful, on the bottom of the checklist it says, if you see something at a home you don't understand, here's our phone number. Okay, so it's branded, you're helpful, you've nurtured them with that email sequence. When it comes time to purchase a home, why wouldn't they select you? Okay, so that's what we're trying to prove empirically, that we can get in front of those people. Because what happens when what happens when real estate agents go away? I mean, we talked before we opened the call, all the things that are happening differently. When they go away, how are you going to get more business? How are you going to replace the units you're getting today? And this is how it's going to be direct to the public. I guarantee you. Let's see, Coach William, my crystal ball's been out for a long time. Have I been saying this for a while? Agents are going away.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah. If you haven't heard it, let me say it again. Agents are going away. All right, kiddo. Sorry. I have to let you guys understand why this is so important. We wouldn't waste your time on a topic that wasn't critical to your ability to continue to get leads and sales.
Yeah. So that's exactly it. We're working on that on the email list building and media services. William's working on it directly with me, and pretty soon we'll be able to tell you, just like I'm about to show you here on the marketing channel, on the marketing channels, that, you know, in our email campaigns we're getting the 10% conversion rate, 20% conversion rate. Empirically, we'll be able to tell you how well it's working, and I'm really excited about that. I know it's going to be very successful for us and for you as well when you implement it. So again, these most impactful numbers come. I spend most of my time here on the acquisition page, and you can see that the people who come from search, we have a certain conversion rate, which is fantastic. It means we're getting targeted traffic. That means that what we're doing with SEO is working. You know, almost 40% are converting, at least from the home to schedule, and that's fantastic. So when you click one of these channels like search, you'll be able to drill down deeper, and you'll have you come to this page, and we're just seeing the data from the past week, and we'll see what keywords. Well, Google doesn't provide 90 keywords. They show 2 of them. I don't even know why they show 2 of them, but you can see keywords here. But you can also see these primary dimensions. This is the next place you want to look. You can see keyword, source, landing page, or other, and we're going to look at landing page. We'll see what content is working for us. So we see that most of our traffic, about 70%, people find our homepage. Most of our conversions are there. Our schedule page is actually ranking, which is fantastic. And then they immediately convert. But meet the team page is converting. And you can see how it's converting right here on this column. But we can see, based off this landing page report, is of the content that we have ranking, how was it performing? And then we can see here also, do we need more content? Like I'll tell you one of the strategies that's working for us is to have more SEO content. So we have, the cost of home inspections. We have the home inspection checklist ranked. We actually have 2 home inspection cost pages ranking. But just as a rule of thumb, you want more content related to people, because when people are searching for home inspection costs, someone's looking to find what we call that information seeking keyword. Someone's looking to find out how much home inspectors cost in the area. Why are they doing that? Because they want to find out, they want to get a home inspector. They're in that process. If someone's searching for something to do with hardwood flooring, or we also have other content, that's home maintenance related content, everything like that. Those people aren't looking for home inspectors. So that's why we recommend, and we'll have this on the call as well, we'll have a list of keywords that you can produce content from. But that's definitely a strategy. You want to rank content that's going to attract people in the process. Hopefully that makes sense.
Let's talk about it a minute more, because William, this is a very important thing for you and me. We're doing it in your firm. We were able to drill down through keyword research and see the kind of, we call it long tail keyword. How much does a home inspection cost in Boise or in Louisville? That's people are wanting to know that. And so what we can do is put content together that matches it, and Google knows where you're searching from. So if you're in Louisville, you're typing in that question and William has that content, it comes up. It even, can come up in featured snippets, which we'll get into later, but the Savvy Inspector does it too. So you want to get in here and ask, get this keyword research done, and then what happens, find out what people are typing in, how much a home inspection checklist, Louisville, then Coach Williams stuff comes up. And of course, there's nothing, it's just a page on your website, so there's nothing preventing us from having all of the relevant information. I mean, they could schedule from there if they wanted to, from the article. I'll tell you, Meet the Team got about 40% of our search on the Savvy Inspector. People want to know who's on the team. So if you don't have a good Meet the Team page, that's sad, because that's a missed opportunity. If you're a one-man shop, the team is you. So it needs to be boosted up about you. And when you write something about on Meet the Team about yourself, do you think you should write like you should make it what's in it for the consumer to choose you?
In your USP.
Yeah, you got it. Because people don't want to read you're 43 years old and you went to the University of Tennessee or whatever it happens to be. They don't care about that. They want to know why should they select you for their home inspection? Okay. You could put something in like over 7,000 families in the Boise area have trusted us to provide them with the information they need to make a good decision on whether to purchase or not purchase a home. I mean, that's a pretty good opener, huh, William?
Sure.
It has a lot of the components Dr. Cialdini wants you to have in there in the book Influence. Okay, so give it to them. They don't care about all those other things later. If you're a professional engineer, that's great. What does that mean to me? You know how to inspect a home?
Right.
So you gotta make that count, because tons of people come to Meet the Team. The Savvy gets it all the time when we look at our analytics. All right, Mr. Ken. Yeah, I mean, that's it. So this is one of the reports that I spent a lot of time on and saying, how can we make this better? Our 5-star package page ranked, 33% conversion rate, 1 out of 3. Sample report converted. So we're always thinking. So now we have, based off our numbers, now we can go whenever we make a change on the sample report based off of this data. We made the change on the 21st. Based off, then we track, we check it again, set up like a tickler file or whatever, set a reminder in 3 weeks and say, how did our change affect your conversion rate? Another thing too is if you so there's an SEO plugin I recommend you get. It's called Yoast SEO plugin. One of the things that works very well is you download the Yoast SEO plugin, and it's a step-by-step thing you follow. And there's a green light, yellow light, and a red light. And there's things that you do, like adding the keyword in the first paragraph. Make sure the keyword's in the title tag. If you have WordPress, that means the title of the post, whatever. But whenever you make those changes, say that you completed the changes on the 21st. In 3 weeks, say did that task move the needle? You know, because people, I mean, there's no shortage of people saying, hey, you should do this, you should do that. And I recommend you implement all the things from the Savvy. I recommend you you read, you take courses, you go to seminars. I recommend you do all that. But make sure that you have you're collecting data, and you say, you know, what was that guy, you know, was the information worth it or not? So that's very, very important about connecting your tasks with results.
Let me say this, Ken. There's some other few key performance indicators on this page, and let's look at it. And it's a little bit small, but maybe we can still see it. I'd like to know how many number of new sessions we have. Our goal is to get as many new people on our site as we can. I also want to know, do people return? Because the Savvy Inspector has a lot of information to consume on the front, and so do you. Do they return? So new users. Look at this bounce rate. People have come on, didn't find it relevant for whatever reason to what they wanted, and so what happens is they just back browser away. Well, if we could lower the bounce rate and have things on there that kept them going on the site longer, then what happens is you could get more of your goal. And William, a classic case on your Facebook was when you uploaded the videos, you got way more engagement with the videos, even if it was in the home inspection business.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, just by watching that and tracking those numbers, you know, that was an obvious plus to do it that way.
The other thing is pages per session. Okay, 2.59 average for view. Okay, so that's pretty great. That's a key performance indicator. And today we would put that down as the baseline. Then we'd measure it next month. Okay, is there a way to keep them engaged? Here's, look at this average session or time on page. 1.33, 1 minute, 33 seconds. My job is to improve it. One of the ways you might improve it is by an engaging video, maybe a case study about somebody used your service and not just a review, but why they selected you and what it meant to them and the things you caught and how much that saved them in money and made the transaction easier. Something that gets them engaged. But if you have a baseline number, 1.33, then what happens, you can work on increasing time on page because Google likes that. I'd try to lower the bounce rates. I had to work on the Savvies was 60%, and we've got it down around 30 now. Okay, and then your goals right here. Those obviously are ones Ken said for key performance indicators, but there's a lot of important information if you're managing your own website. A lot of information that you're going to want to be tracking. On top of everything else you do, William, you get to do this too as a home inspector.
Well, I've got Ken helping me.
Yeah, that's why William. I said he's smoking a cigar with his feet up because he's not having to worry about this.
Yeah, I'm checking in on Ken just make sure it's all moving forward.
All right,
yeah, well, that was exactly you said about bounce rate for our book inspection. We got 22 times it showed up in search and had a 90.91% bounce rate, which is bad. And so I'm thinking immediately, what do I have to do to lower that? Clearly, you know, I'd love to have a little snippet wherever they landed on that book inspection page. Whatever they saw immediately didn't convince them. So, you know, can we resell the benefit? Like, you know, I know you're about to make the biggest investment of your, you know, probably of your life. You know, we want to make sure you don't, you know, get caught in a money pit or get, you know, buy a money pit. So some way, you know, there's something we can do on that first fold. And the first fold is when you land on the website. This part right here is the first fold, and when you page down on your keyboard, that's the second fold. So the first fold is what causes the bounce rate. And so really, our first fold is not converting. So that, you know, there's something we've got to do there. And Ken talked about pages per session. Our quote unquote funnel is from the, you know, from the home page to the schedule page, and from the schedule page to the schedule inspection, which is really only 2 pages. But does it only take 1 minute and 33 seconds to read that page? You know, connecting this stuff all up in your brain. You know, how long does it take to read the sales page before you're convinced? That's a good question to ask and find out. How long does it take to read? You know, to come to my homepage and be convinced. You know, should we add a video there? You know, what do we have to do? And so that's exactly it. Knowing all these key performance indicators and really understanding how it all connects together is going to make you a winner. Especially.
Go ahead, Ken. we have a little lag on the phone. I was just going to say everybody on the call's read a newspaper. And so what you see at the top of the newspaper is what's called the first fold. And they always put the most exciting, compelling headlines and information in there. And so what happens is, like Ken's talking about, when you're in the first fold, what happens, we should look at the content the person is seeing. You know, when you're getting back browsered in 3 or 4 seconds, you know what? They know they need a home inspection. They just don't know why they should choose you. And if they have to figure it out, they won't. Okay, so in the first fold, that's why we say you got to have a strong headline. What are they thinking? I know I need a home inspection. Why should I choose you? So you know what Coach Williams says? Why should you choose Certainty Home Inspections for your next home inspection? Duh. You've just entered the conversation that they're having in their own mind. Okay, that's what they want to know. So when I see these websites that we look at for your competitors in different markets, I see these things. You got to be kidding me. That thing looks like a brochure. I'd back browser that in 2 seconds. And so that's what happens. So when you know your numbers, then what happens? You can start making constructive changes one at a time. All right, Mr. Kent.
Yeah. So I also want to show you, before we're about to move on here, I want to respect the time. We can go long if we want to, but when you see all this stuff, if you hover over the question mark here, you'll see an explanation, and then again you can become more of an expert here. This is, bounce rate, single page sessions, which shows up interaction with a page, has a duration of 0 seconds. If you click on learn more, it pops open and you can learn about it. I'm sure you have time for that, but just know it's there. And so that's that. And so hopefully, is it making sense? Is this SEO landing page report making sense? Do you see the value here? Is this useful for you? Type a 1 in the chat box if you would.
I think you'll get a bunch of ones there, but the sad part is I might be stepping on you here, but it's like, we're home inspectors. I want to focus on my home inspection business and growing that. I do not want to become an SEO guru.
Right.
And so, thank the Lord, there's folks out there like you guys that, can spend your time analyzing this and making things better. And it's a full-time job.
It's a full-time job.
Yeah. And I just, how many of us out there really, okay, I can do, I know Tony's on here. It's probably a no-brainer for him, some of this stuff, because that's his background. But the majority of us, we know home inspections. We don't know all this stuff. And it's just, for me, if you can afford to do so, it's just so much easier to sub this out to Done For You, or, if you don't do Done For You, whoever, somebody that knows what the heck they're doing and can do this for you. Because if not, man, it's going to suck up a lot of your time.
And I think the thing, William, is even if you learn how to read the numbers and your key performance indicators to determine the health of your online presence, the fact of the matter is, I think most home inspectors don't know how to improve it once they understand it. We've split test everything to get the 9 pieces of content on a website that create the greatest conversion, and we're constantly looking at heat maps and other things to try to see which way people are reading your website, so that we can continue to make improvements. What content are they looking at first, and where do they gravitate naturally next, so that we can get the right content placed in the right place so they consume it. So we're constantly doing it. Thank you, GoGo. She says Done For You service is the best. If we do Done For You services for it, you don't have to worry about this. We're constantly talking with you about it and going through this stuff. But I see what Rod said. It is confusing, especially this is Google Analytics for beginners too, Rod. It gets worse. Sometimes I'm confused, brother. Don't you worry about that. When you drill down 3 or 4 levels and you're trying to figure out how can we help this client get more phone calls through conversion, it does get a little bit confusing. But this right here, it's important that you know it. And then what happens is, it's great info to hold your SEO person accountable. That's exactly correct.
That was my goal. That was my goal for this, was that, if you choose to do Done For You services, God bless you, we'll deliver for you. If you're using someone else, then, that was my goal here, was make sure that you're empowered as a business owner to say, hey, look, did you get me any conversions from search? Are you getting me any traffic? What have you done to move the needle?
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. That's a good thing for this. All right, well, let's roll on because we got a few more things we want to discuss.
Yes, cool. All right, so basically, so now I want to talk to you about, now we know the most impactful numbers. We know, how to find our marketing channels and see, what kind of results we're getting. Now I want to talk to you about let's make your dream a reality. You have when you do online marketing, you should have a goal. How many inspections do you want from your online marketing campaigns altogether? how many inspections you want to book on your website. For done for you services, our goal is 25 sales that we get you if you're a part of done for you services. If we accomplish that, then you'll get a 10x return, and I think it's extraordinary. That's our goal. And so what you do is you say, okay, my goal is I want 25 inspections, and now you know what your conversion rate is on your scheduling page. Let's say it's 50%. In that case, you need 50 people on that page at a 50% conversion rate to get 25 inspections scheduled. After that, you'll need to determine your conversion rate on your home page from your home page to your schedule page. Let's say it's 10%. If you want 50 targeted visitors on your schedule page at a 50% conversion rate to get 25 inspections, from the home page to the schedule page, if you have a 10%, you'll need 500 visitors to get those 50 targeted visitors to your schedule page. Now that you've determined your numbers, to reach your main inspection goal, then you just got to start generating that traffic. So that's what I was saying about earlier. Over here, I said, use the help section, use Google.com, use Amazon, use books, use courses, use the Savvy Inspector website, start generating that traffic. That way you can reach your conversion goals.
So let's talk about that again. Our goal is to get you 25 inspections scheduled from your website each month, but there's a whole bunch of factors. Okay, so we're looking at a variety of issues. The biggest one we do at Done For You Services, how many times do we get your phone to ring? Okay, so let me say this to you. We looked at direct traffic earlier, and I always say this to Coach William, that they will give you, a lot of times the client or the home buyer will get your URL directly from the real estate agent. Okay, if you have a converting website, another one that turns visitors into paying customers, then what happens is that traffic from those real estate agents converts and gets you part of that 25 inspections. Search is another part. The other thing that happens is, because we don't answer your phone, the quality of the person who does answer your phone impacts the number of inspections that you get. So what we always look is, how many phone calls did you get? All right, the real estate agent isn't giving out the tracking number. They're giving out your regular phone number for them to call you. So traffic comes from a variety of ways, and how you schedule and how you do the things that you do affect it. So we really are driven off of number of phone calls. Okay, so that's it. And we track that too, and we track everything else. Don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of factors in this.
Yes, and that's for Done For You Services. Again, my target audience here is someone like For You Home. I'm not sure what your first name is here, but he said great information to hold your SEO accountable. That's really who I'm talking to here is people who aren't Done For You Services clients. Just this process here of determining your target and then determining what you have to do to reach that target. I hope that serves you very well. Reverse engineering your goals. So that's that. I'll do a quick little recap here before we move on to the one tool that'll make growing your numbers effortless. Is that if you just did these things that we've talked about, signed up in Google Analytics, installing it on your website so it's tracking the data, setting up goals for the home page to the schedule page, from the schedule page to a scheduled inspection, and then determining how many inspections do I want for my online marketing campaign, and then reverse engineering your goals, and then engaging in traffic generation strategies, and then changing based on the results you get, you will reach your goals, and you can consider yourself a Google Analytics expert because you track these Google Analytics, you change your behavior based on your results, and you hit your goals. So
I want to just say one thing, Ken, here. Paid ads, I don't recommend for most home inspectors. Paid ads right now, Google AdWords used to be a great place to do paid ads. The price per click has gotten up so high. Most home inspectors' conversion rates are very low. They drive them to the homepage of their website. Many home inspectors' website doesn't convert organic traffic, which is free traffic, not really free, but you're not paying for it directly. It doesn't convert organic traffic, so why would you drive paid traffic there? Most home inspectors don't know how to set up landing pages. Most home inspectors don't know how to select negative keywords. In other words, if somebody types in cheap home inspection, you don't show up. You know, most home inspectors don't have the experience in Google AdWords that they need to get a positive return on your investment. And I don't want you to engage in anything that you don't get a positive return on your investment. I mean, you don't have marketing dollars to waste. So paid ads is not my thing for home inspectors. Tony Burke will tell you that's true. That was true for him.
Yeah, we hear it across the board. I was sharing with you, I got a local competitor that's been doing it for years. And so I was having a conversation with Ken one time, and I said, hey, it must do something because this guy's been on here forever. And Ken's like, well, they're just, they don't track anything. They have no idea. They just assume it's working. They cost a lot, so it must be good, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Whoops.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. That's the beauty of tracking. If it doesn't work, scrap it.
Yeah. And we are testing paid advertising, and it does make sense in some ways. For instance, retargeting is a paid advertising strategy, and retargeting will be rolling out at the workshop this year. Hopefully we'll have some more data. But when somebody comes and visits your website, that you saw in the example Ken shared, over 50% bounce rate. Well, okay, and how about those that came but didn't go to the scheduling page? Or how about those that went to the scheduling page but abandoned the cart? They pick up a cookie, a little computer code when they go there, and then what happens every place on social media and around the web, when they type in a search, even if it's not related to what they're looking for now, in other words, it's not home inspection related, you're showing up. And we know that from other industries that using retargeting effectively can increase conversion 64%. So what we want to do is prove, can we do it in the home inspection industry and at what cost? So so there's a lot of things that Savvy's working on now that are, and we've been working on for quite a time. A/B split testing. We use heat tracking software on your website to determine customer behavior or visitor behavior. There's a whole bunch of things you don't want to fool with or know about, but we do it every week because we want to get you more phone calls, greater conversions on your website. All right, Mr. Ken, I had to say paid because I don't want everybody to rush out there and start paying for traffic and then think, oh, Ken didn't say, don't do it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like you said, in concept, it sounds amazing. Let me put $1 in and get $2 out. I mean, how's that not good? But I don't know. I don't know why we've had such. I don't know why people have had such, poor experience with it.
Auto dealers, there's a lot of auto dealers that will pay over $100,000 a month in spend on AdWords, Google AdWords. Then they're getting a return, but they have professional people that track it. And people, if you're going to have a $500 budget a month for AdWords, there's no professional AdWords manager that's going to touch that because they usually charge 10% of spend. So for $50, they can't afford to set it up for you. But when you got $10,000 a month to work with, you can test everything. You can make sure that it's running right, and they do all the work. But for $50 a month, nobody's touching that. So that's why you don't see anybody out there really clamoring to be a AdWords specialist for the home inspection industry. So when we can prove a formula that most home inspectors can use, we'll teach it to you.
Oh yeah, I'm excited about that. I mean, I'm excited about making that happen, if it ever does happen. But so anyway, that was it. That's the strategy. Before we go into the tool here, I want to ask everybody here. My goal here was to completely empower you to go into Google Analytics, hold your staff accountable, say, is this working? Or if you're in there yourself saying, is what I'm doing working? Does everyone feel comfortable, empowered to go into Google Analytics and to find out if their strategy is working? If so, would you put a 3 in the chat box?
And if not, Ken Lennar's gonna leave his phone number down here at the bottom.
I think the thing about it is, even if you're willing to go in, log into Google Analytics and look at these things, you'll be way better off, regardless of whether you do it yourself or you pay to have it done by someone else. William, I said to you when you guys first started with us years ago, why are you mowing your own grass? Why are you cleaning your own pool? You said it a minute ago, we're home inspectors. We have a few other things to do besides this. So I can see why so many of our customers or members take done for you.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you, Gogo. Thank you. Looks like, yeah, Rod, I said, call in, we'll talk about how you can help, how we can help you reach your goals. We're implementing some new things. William's leading the way here on the keywords that we for our landing pages. We're also creating videos, and we're creating sort of like mini funnels there for each of our SEO pages, because So that's that. So yeah, Rod, definitely we want to talk to you about how you can contribute as well.
Ken just said William was our guinea pig.
That's right. I'm all for it.
And here's the other thing, Rod, and this is a really important thing. Okay, so here a lot of customers, when we take over Done For You services, they think, wow, Savvy's doing my doing my marketing, so I don't have to do anything else. And that isn't true. When you look at a three-legged stool, you have to get professional referrals from mortgage brokers and real estate agents, whether it's top producer or non-top producer. You have to get business directly from the public, and you have to get business from your prior clients. And when you have your marketing efforts running on all 8 cylinders in those areas, you really get the results that you want. Okay, but too many clients over the years have said, oh, the Savvy's doing Done For You for me. I'm just going to not worry about marketing. And that's a big mistake. And William, we have that discussion with customers all the time, don't we?
Right, right. Yeah, it's you've still got to do your part, especially trying to keep the local things. That's the biggest thing that I always try to push is, Done For You Services has no idea what just happened in your backyard. And those are the things that can be powerful for you in your area to keep it local. So you've got to stay engaged with everyone out there.
Yeah, you want to definitely have definitely that three-legged stool rolling. Yeah, 2 months. It gets better each month. Anybody that can tell you they can generate instant results from you has fibbed it to you, Rod. So the fact of the matter is, we always tell the clients it's usually month 3 when you really start to see results, because if we controlled Google, we would be doing this for everybody. So there's a whole bunch of factors that go into it. So when you're fresh, yeah, it takes a little bit of time. It's an investment. It's one of those things I say to customers who talk to me about Done For You services. I said, would you invest with Charles Schwab money when you couldn't pay your rent consistently or your house payment? If you don't have money to invest, don't do it yet. It's not right for you. This is clearly like all investments to get a great return. All right, Mr. Ken, let's see this weekly measurement spreadsheet, buddy.
Okay, cool. So yeah, this is the tool that we use. We implemented it just a few weeks ago. It has been extraordinary. I love it. And so basically, all it is just a simple tool to where you have your quarter laid out. I include a template here so you don't have to type all the stuff in. But you have your measurable right here, and you say traffic from search. And you have your goal, and then how much traffic did you get in search? Traffic did you get from search in December, and how much did you get in the first week, second week, third week, and fourth week? Same deals before. Conversions from search, and this is all the measurables you have for your business. This could be total traffic, could be phone calls, anything that you want to measure in your business that you want to increase. If you report on the numbers in your business, and then you measure them each week, and like we've been talking about this whole time, if you measure your numbers and you take actions based on increasing those numbers, and you see how much those actions affected it, you will increase. You have no other choice but to increase. So that's that.
What you measure grows. What you report on grows exponentially. So what Ken's telling you, he calls it a measurable. We call it a key performance indicator. You got no traffic. Guess what happened? You got no sales, do you, William?
That's exactly right.
I mean, if you got a conversion rate of 100% or 12% and you got no traffic, you're doomed.
Yeah, and that's that. I want to echo what Ken said earlier about it's a long-term game. If anyone tells you they can get you results really quickly like that, it'd be nice. But you got to be in it for the long haul. You got to be in it to win it. You can't get discouraged because things didn't work out the first time. Like if you don't get instant results, it didn't work. Let me just do something else. Don't do that. Keep striving. Keep pushing. Keep going for your goal. This is what the weekly measurement spreadsheet looks like, or just a sample of what it looks like when it's filled out. So this is some of our clients. I hid the name for privacy purposes, but we implemented it. Somewhere around the first week of January, or actually we implemented it around the 16th. It was in the mid-January. But then you measure it and you can see, am I trending upward? Am I trending, downward? And this way you have full, complete control over your numbers. You don't have to. It'd be nice if Google Analytics would produce something like this, but it takes like 5 minutes, and to fill it out. And if you have staff members, this will make them they'll feel like winners because they're measuring the numbers, and then they take action, then they increase it. Then you have not only do you actually have real results, but you have happier staff too. Everyone likes to win. Everyone likes to be a winner. So.
Ken, let me just share this too. Our staff is looking at this every day. We have account managers, and each account manager has a team, and so they're taking a look at your account. So look at the top line, line 2, in this case, traffic from search in December 17th, 194. Then look at January, based on the changes we made, 266. And then you look at February 1st through the 8th, and the second week, you're talking about over 200 in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, so we keep seeing the numbers, and we keep making the changes. And this, when you track this every day, and this is what you do for a living, like our staff does, then you get these kind of results, you get better results. Now, there could be something happen, and, it really varies about there was lower traffic or whatever it happened to be that week. Or, William, you and I both know from doing this for a million years that a couple weeks before the kids go back to school, what happens to the traffic from all sources?
Sure, it all slows down.
You know what they're searching for? Kohl's discount coupons.
Absolutely.
So, you have certain times, you look at the holiday periods, the traffic's less, but we can tell you, and our staff knows it, that what are the search results by month historically. So when if we saw somebody dwindle down, then we could say, well, maybe it's this or that. But look at line 3, 71, from search for this client. And then you go over to January, there's 102. Okay, and so what happens is for the first 2 weeks, there's 70. So if we got traffic the same, there's 140. But we constantly pay attention to these things. That's why. These are Ken called them measurements or metric. We call them key performance indicators. It really looks at the health of your online presence. So so that's what that is. So we track it all the time. And you can use this spreadsheet, please do, or use a different one. And what'll happen is make your own. But what you measure grows exponentially. What you report on, really.
Yeah, and so that's it. You'll start developing traction. You'll be measuring these things, and pretty soon you'll connect up in your head or like in your body or whatever, and you'll say, okay, this this really works. And for me, I love this. This like I was telling you about the staff when they feel like winners, and when you can't feel like a winner unless you actually win. So this will help you win.
Ken, one other thing too I'd like to show just for a minute. Do we have a completed Clipfolio dashboard that you want to show?
We don't have one that's exactly the way. We'll have a perfect one.
Okay. So what's happened is what we showed you here with Google Analytics for every distribution channel that you use. And distribution channel, remember, is how you get your products and services into the hands of home buyers and home sellers, the end user. Okay, and that's a distribution channel. So you can't say the internet, because the internet is comprised of a whole bunch of things, isn't it, William? A few things. Okay, so what happens is you need to do this with your Facebook stats. You need to do this with your LinkedIn stats, your Pinterest stats. If you're using Instagram stats. You have to do this with the whole thing. And so what happens is we acquired software that now in a dashboard tells our account managers the health of your business on every different platform that we work with you on. So at a glance, the manager can sit down with your account rep and say, I see some opportunities here for greater views from videos on Dailymotion or YouTube, or whatever the situation has to be. And your monthly report is going to start coming out with the Clipfolio dashboard, and you'll be able to see the results in real time, historically and in real time. But we're going to do some videos and show you exactly what it is and how to interpret it so that you can see all of your analytics in one place. And when I saw the software, I said to Ken, I think this is just what both we need internally, so our staff doesn't have to go to each individual analytic spot, but also to help the customer understand the health of their online business based on that one dashboard. So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly it. It's a dashboard of all your marketing results. And so
William, have you seen it? William, have you seen it?
What Ken showed to me.
Clipfolio?
Oh no, not Clipfolio. I have not.
Yeah. So that it was really pretty slick, really pretty slick. We're still it reports on again number of calls you have, 2 minute and a half to 3 minutes or whatever. It shows all that stuff, but it actually brings out all of your Google Analytics. So if you're a done for you customer, you'll just see it. You can see it anytime you want. You'll be able to log in and see it anytime you want. It's your dashboard. So instead of going here, you just come right to Clipfolio and it'll show you what you want. And then if you want to drill down from there, which I can't imagine why you would, but if you did, then you could go from there and drill straight down into all of the stats for any of the online properties in which we have a presence built for you. All right.
So yeah, that's pretty much the end here. Hopefully I served you well and you got some value off this. Hopefully you can log into Google Analytics and see, where am I getting my traffic from? How's my traffic converting? All that was my goal here. Hopefully everything makes sense. If it didn't, I encourage you to maybe rewatch the webinar or go into the help section or shoot. If you don't get it, ask me a question. I asked earlier, or ask us a question. I asked earlier, did it all make sense? And we got a Q3, so kind of worries me here. Hopefully everyone got value off this. That's why I'm here. I'm not here to listen to myself talk. I'm here to serve you. So yeah, hopefully that's the case. Any questions?
And John, Wanda and Gogo liked it. And John says, what was the name of the WordPress plugin? John, what will happen, the video will put up in a couple days or less, and underneath it, the WordPress plugin will be right down there. All of the things we talked about will be links right there. The other thing, if you want to talk about Google Analytics and other things, the forum is, TSI Forum is a fantastic place. So if you'll just go in there and ask questions, Ken L will come right in there and answer them. Our staff will. Our community manager, her name is Miles. She makes sure that our staff sees it and comes in and gives you an answer. A lot of cool things happen in the forum. You're about to be able to earn some points for taking certain actions, and then over time you're going to be able to redeem those for some Savvy Inspector goodies that you might want, some crazy t-shirts or whatever, digital products, that kind of thing. So a lot of cool things are coming. If you haven't gotten on the forum and filled out your profile, I would encourage you to do it. We got a lot more things to do. You can use it on your smartphone now with a shortcut. You can go right into it. Don't have to log in. Go right to it just like you would Facebook. So William, I know you've been in the forum. What were your original thoughts?
Well, we had tried a different form that you had there earlier on, and people were reluctant to jump over there. It was kind of cumbersome. That was my biggest fear, of jumping off the Facebook thread over to hear how easy will it be for people to do it, and will they do it. So far, it's proven to go really smooth. It's cool because the stuff stays in there, especially for you and I. We don't have to answer the same old questions over and over because it stays there in that form, in the thread that can be tracked. So I've been really happy with it. Jump right in. I have not got the app for my phone yet. Please send that to me because I think you want to send those out. But with the app on the phone, I can see that even as another huge plus. So far, I'm really liking it.
Yeah, it's been a good thing, I think, too. A lot of folks helping each other, which was the goal for us.
Right.
All right. With that said, there's a ton more good stuff, cool stuff coming out. And we are excited. Coach William, as always, thank you, sir. Ken L, great job. If you have additional questions about Google Analytics, jump in the forum, start a topic, and then what happens is you will be able to get the answers you need there from Ken. All right, folks, everybody, glad to have you on the call. Look forward to talking to you again soon. Coach William, Ken, thank you. Bye-bye.